beings. There's a collective calling for healers, light workers, coaches, anybody with a desire in their heart to do good in the world, to live in their power, bring out their gifts, and do a collective shift on the world, right? So there's a calling because to every challenge, God builds certain people up to be able to help in that battle. So if there's a spiritual battle, God's going to build people up spiritually to be able to do that. If there's a battle in your finances and your family, God builds people to be entrepreneurs in order to do that. So literally what's happening is a collective shift, and people are waking up. There's a desire in people's hearts to do something more with their life because it's needed, right? So God is really not letting us lay our gifts dormant anymore. So this episode of Ed Talks Daily, I'm going to talk about that calling and why you should really take that serious and make sure you're putting that in your brand. No matter what you're selling, the first thing that we're selling is that the first thing you should be selling is not the product. The first thing you should be selling is truth. And that's not even a sell. That sells itself. Hello, powerful people. My name is Edouard Gilles, personal development speaker and talk show host. And I want to welcome you to this holistic experience called Ed Talks Daily Personal Development and Motivation. This podcast is all about growth in all aspects of your life. How do you solidify a great mindset that will lead to a healthy body, healthy relationships, and an in-tune spirit? Well, join me on this journey to becoming the best version of ourselves. If you want a podcast that you can relate to, a podcast that will motivate and inspire you, all while educating you on ways to personally develop and grow as a being, Ed Talks Daily is for you. Find Ed Talks Daily on your favorite podcast app and be sure to leave your thoughts in the form of a review. We got to start spreading our truths. Spreading our truth about the reality of life, the reality of what's real, the spirituality. Putting that through our posts, motivation, inspiration, and inspired, getting people in the spirit. So we have to become inspirational brands, and we have to help elevate each other. And there's a calling for healers, light workers, coaches. There's a major calling right now. The market is not saturated. The market is as it should be, because there's billions of people who need something you got. Look, God don't make fruits. God places seeds, and those seeds bear fruit. Well, you can say God does make the fruit, but it is from the seed that the fruit come out, which means you are a solution to somebody else's problem. Your brand is the solution to somebody else's problem. Your brand creates a feeling within somebody which solves a certain problem. So you have to start to look at what you're doing is more important than making money. What you're doing is you're creating something within somebody. Even if you have a brand that you say, hey, well, I'm not even making any impact. Just the fact that you're running one is impactful, because what you're doing is you're actually letting other people know that, hey, you can operate in your own greatness. What you're actually letting people know is that, you can operate in your gift. So just by stepping out on a limb is inspirational, it's valuable. It's adding value to the world. Now, let's go back and say this. Have you been feeling lately like, there's more, there has to be more to this? Have you been feeling lately like, I know I'm getting my needs taken care of, but there has to be a little bit more to this day to day. Like there has to be more to my life than what's currently in my life. There has to be more opportunities available than I'm currently seeing. Is that the case? Then let me tell you, there is more to your life than what's currently going on. There is more to your life than what you're currently experiencing. Okay, so you have to understand that there's more to your life because there's more in your life. There's more to your life because there's more in you. There's more gifts and abilities in you. You have to discover what those gifts are. So yesterday I was thinking about myself. I was like, I'm in the wellness space. I'm in the coaching space. I'm in the entrepreneurship space. I'm in the branding space. I'm in the tech space. All of these things did not just come about today. It is a series of things that led to me being this way. It is a series of life circumstances that guided me towards my path of doing this. So, a lot of times you don't necessarily even choose how you impact. it is given within you. It's something you do so naturally. Some people, is their voice. They can sing really good. Some people, they're just good at getting people together. Some people, they're a life of the party. And they don't recognize that, there's more to that than just being the life of, even being the life of the party. Being someone that raises the vibration of a room makes people, that means that there's many ways you can take that gift and put it out in the world. Somebody's hosting an event, guess what? They need an MC. And you can be a conscious MC, master of ceremony. That means that your gift is not always, does not look like a career path. It may look like you being out of the norms. Your gift does not always look like a career path. It can actually feel like, I'm way different in that area. That way different, that weird part of you that you try to hide is what you need to reveal. Because if you then take it and you realize what it really is, then you could put a title on it for impact. So somebody says, what's the difference between a class clown and a comedian? A class clown looked at their gift as something that I'm not supposed to really do. A comedian says, this is what I'm here to do. Two difference. And I'm not saying a class clowns always look at this is something I'm not supposed to do. I'm just saying that that's what society makes it seem like. That's what your teacher makes it seem like. That's probably what your principal made it seem like. So what I'm saying is the difference between somebody who's a class clown and somebody who's a class clown and somebody who's a comedian is that one of them says, this is my gift, I'm going to hone it to make a difference, or I'm going to own it to make people laugh. One of them says, I just kind of do it naturally. So there isn't really a difference. And if you're a class clown that don't feel bad about it and you just do it, it just means you're operating in your gift of being a comedian. So somebody who dances all of the time, who sings in the shower all of the time, that is their gift. They need to hone in that gift and they need to actually go in on there and make it meaningful, impactful. Like somebody who's really good with their body needs to hone in on that gift and start to get in the fitness world. Utilize that gift to do something in fitness. Somebody who's been a cook, who's really good at cooking, how do you take your gift and make it more meaningful? Now, you can't raise vibration with your gift unless you raise your vibration. That means that just because you have a gift doesn't mean that you're going to use it for raising the vibration of the planet. Sometimes you might have a gift, and because you're not stepping in your power, somebody else uses the gift for an act that is against humanity, but you call it prosperity. And a lot of people are actually selling their ability to impact souls positively for the accumulation of money, when they could be doing the same thing, more fulfilled, more impactful, but they're selling their soul in a way. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Let's say an artist have a gift of being able to sing really good. I can use that to make conscious music that elevate the mindset of the masses, or I can use my gift of making music just not consciously. I have other people writing my songs and it's talking about stuff that's not raising any vibration, talking about low vibrational things, which is then literally dumbing down the masses. Same gift, different use. An artist that says, I'm going to take my gift of singing and I'm not necessarily just going to do conscious music. I'm going to share how I feel, but I'm going to put a message behind it, which means that I'm not necessarily, I'm not necessarily singing about holistic wellness, but at least I'm sharing about how I feel, how I've transformed that, how that's bettered my life. I'm sharing about and stuff that help people grow, inspirational music, Lauryn Hill type stuff. But most people are not doing that. They're saying, hey, I want to be big. I want to be rich and famous. And because I want to be rich and famous, what is a label that can... And then now you're using the same gift, but for a wrong mission. And this is what normally happens with most people is they find a job somewhere and the job is not in their best interest or in the interest of humanity. So though they're really good cook, they're actually cooking something that's killing people. but they haven't stepped into the truth to know what actually helps people. So when you don't step into the truth, it's hard for you to give it out. So what you have to do is you have to elevate your consciousness so that when you do find your gift, you don't operate in your gift in a way that hurts the planet. You want to operate in your gift in a way that elevates the energy of the planet. And it's not a question of right or wrong, but it's a question of, does this elevate us, or does this actually gets us lower vibrational state? That is something you have to think about. Whether you're an actor, whether you're an artist, whether you're a comedian, whether you're a speaker, whether you're a coach, all of that has to be taken into consideration. All right. Reason why all of that has to be taken into consideration is that if you don't consider it, you're going to realize that, hey, oh, snap, I have not been operating in my gifts. Actually, I've been operating in my gifts, but I have not aligned my gifts with certain values that can empower the world in a certain way. So now, because I have not done that, now I still feel like something is missing, even though I'm operating in my gift. So the collective calling that I referred to earlier is not just for healers, teachers, coaches, people to start bringing out their gifts. It's to bring your gifts and align them in a way that raises the vibration of our universe, of this world. You want to align your gift in a way that raises the vibration of the world. So yeah, I'm going to bring my gift out, but don't just bring your gift out. Bring it out in a way that betters people's lives. Bring it out in a way that helps people get away from oblivion and into the truth. But first, before that must happen, it has to happen within you, which means you have to get from oblivion towards the truth, which means that you have to start to learn what the reality of it. Everything you've probably known up until this point, unless you've unlearned and relearned, has been a lie. That means that you have to step into the truth. You yourself have to become a seeker before you can become a teacher. You yourself have to become a seeker before you come into the teacher. That's why it says, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. And even when you become a teacher, you must still remain a student. You have to be a lifelong student. You have to be a seeker to become a teacher, and then remain a student and remain humble to continuously learn, because that's the only way you grow. And even though you coach, you need to be coached. Even though you teach, you need to be taught. So even though you heal, you need to, it's a continuous process. So now I'm saying there's something that's already inside of you. You just have to step into it and then reveal it. I'm saying don't just step into it and reveal your gift, but align your gift with a raising of the vibration of the planet. Make it deeper than what you think is the outcome you're searching for. So what I mean is deeper than you just saying, I want to sustain. Okay, so somebody says, I'm going to start a business. What's going on? Somebody says, I want to start a business, and I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it to sustain the quality of life for my family. Yo, that's a beautiful reason. However, we need to extend that a little bit more, right? We need to say, hey, I'm doing it for the betterment of this world. Now that gives you a second layer of impact. And this is what the divine within all of us is causing this within us. Some of us, we wake up through certain times where we feel like a depressive time, a time of lack of purpose, lack of meaning, a type of loneliness. Those dark nights of the soul is what's waking you up to say, hey, there's more to your life than what's currently happening. Yeah, I know you're sustaining a good life. I know you got the house over your head, you got the good, but there's more to you. That's why you feel unfulfilled. There's something you came here to do. And you hear in the voice and you're like, what is it? How do I do it? So then the universe works in a way where people, ideas, you get on this live, and now all of a sudden you hear this message. You're like, holy crap, wow. And then the journey can start that way, or it can just be a reminder, a spark, and I ought to get back on that. You know what? I thought about that before. Maybe now is actually the time for me to get on it. So now in your heart of heart, I must do something different. And now you on a new path where you noticing that there was more in me. Some of you are really good at knitting. And you may wonder, like, man, how can I use knitting? How does knitting have an impact on the world? You don't understand that what you're good at creates a certain, peace within you. Because when you do your art and let's say you're great at knitting, How peaceful is it to knit? I haven't knit before, but it looks very peaceful. You get in the flow state, right? Imagine if you can not only knit and sell a product, but you can knit and tell people how to knit. Don't you think that, what if you took knitting and you said, hey, knitting is not just for creating clothes, but it's actually for creating peace, and you started a business that says, I'm going to show you how to knit to create peace. There is so much. That's why I said we live in a help people teaching economy. And the reason why we have to do that is because everything we've been taught is a lie. So now God is recruiting the teachers. Man used to recruit teachers through the systems of man called the education system. God is now recruiting the teachers and healers through intuition, where people feel there's more to them and they start to dive into new ways, and they're actually learning the truth about real life living. And so now people are coming with all types of skill set. Like, I've always loved being in the garden. Now you're like, yo, how can I take loving the garden and make that some way I impact the world? Well, you being in the garden says, oh my goodness, I know how to cultivate food. So that means you can sell food. You can sell herbs. I got some tea for sale. Click the link in my bio, get your anxiety. Or if you're listening, click the link in the description, get your anxiety. Lemongrass, lemongrass, vervain. So you're like, I'm good at making gardens. So you can sell tea, you can sell herbs, you can actually create a little basket in front of your house, sell fruits. But now, is that scalable where you can actually sustain your entire life doing that? Maybe if you grow it to bigger, then you can get a local farm, a smaller farm, and you can actually really enjoy doing that. But while you do that, or as you do that, you can actually teach people how to grow their own garden. So that starts with making content on the net. That starts with making YouTube videos. That starts with making Instagram videos. And over time, you can create a class where you teach people how to garden. That in itself is valuable because you're giving somebody a skill set that they're going to need in this new era that we're living in. Because not only do we have to live off the land, prices are getting more pricey, inflation is happening, there's food shortages all around the world. So we have to understand that those skill sets, those passions that we have, is a solution to a current problem that we're not probably seeing. And when we see that what we know how to do effortlessly is already worthy, we start sharing that and monetizing it. So yes, you have your own garden, you love it, and you cultivated that garden, but what if you can teach somebody else how to do that? What if you can take some plants from your garden and sell those plants? So basically, not only do you teach and show what you know how to do, not only do you show what you know how to do, not only do you do what you know how to do, but you got to teach and show it. That's another form of revenue. This is what content is. You could take that, create courses. You can put that on a course website. You could take that, create curriculum, and send that to an organization, a corporation. You can take that and create a private coaching online service program. You could take that and put it in a book. You can take that. So which means what you are good at, it's not on just something that you're good at. It's something you can take and educate other people how to develop it within them. And it's a ripple effect. If somebody says, yo, will this process stop? No. The process, a market can never be too saturated because there's too much people in the marketplace. It's just there's more and more people in the world. More and more people need your services. More and more people are looking for it. So it's not going to be saturated. It has to be a pass down of knowledge in order for us to wake up. So it has it in a way that the universe, that God rewards us for passing down what we know more abundantly than just keeping what we know to ourselves and then making the profit. So it's like God puts the seed of your gift. You could either sell the fruit or you can teach people how to cultivate their own seed. You become more blessed when you teach because what you do, your impact is bigger. What do I mean by that? Yes, I can cultivate my own garden and sell the mangoes, but if I teach 10 other people how to do it, now 10 who fed 10, now it's 10 feeding 100. Grand Rising Queen. So now, instead of you just helping 10, you've helped 10 help 10. That's what God wants. That's what the universe is calling upon all of us, because this is not just about us getting ours. This is not about you sustaining your financial ability. This is this is a raising of the vibration of a planet. So I'm saying, what is holding you back? Is it the fear of public speaking? Is it the fear of judgment? Is it the fear of not being good enough? Is it the fear of what fear is stopping you from sharing what you know? And some of you might just need to start making a couple of posts. Is it the fear of creating content? Like, are you not sure? Maybe it's the lack of knowledge. Maybe you don't necessarily know how to do it just yet. All of those things are gaps that you need to start filling. So you're like, yo, I fear putting myself out there because I don't know how people are going to receive it. You know, I've been judged by my family, and I don't know if, so I fear that if I start to put out what I do, people are not going to accept what I do. People are not going to follow what I do. People are not going to tap into it. Don't be scared. Understand that if what you do is so valuable for you, I just want you to think about how transformative is what you do for yourself, and that's why you do it, would be to somebody else. And if one person can take that and say, hey, it's transformative for me, how would you feel to know that what you've learned and practiced over time is now going to affect somebody else positively? Like, and that you're going to be doing a greater work on this earth. That is a drive. Somebody says, well, that doesn't pull me too much. Well, that might not pull you from the perspective of business or money or getting minds or the ego, but your spirit resonates with that because your spirit wants to expand. There's a God quality that you have, and you want to create on this earth. You want to do great, and you actually, to some extent, you want to be praised, and that just means you want to be thanked for what you do. You want to feel like you add value. So the God within you always is trying to express itself. So there's a universal calling on our spirits to actually live out our purposes, because what's happening is you go to a job. What they do is they plug you into a system to fulfill their mission, utilizing your gift. A job is just a system you plug in to fulfill their mission and utilizing your gifts. So somebody says, you know what, I'm really good with people. That's my gift. And then now the job takes you and they put you in customer service for their mission, which might not align with the raising of the consciousness of the world. That means that the job takes your gift, puts it in a box, and then produces a result that actually can hurt the planet. So you're saying you go work for a company and the company is actually doing bad in the world. But you don't know that. It looks like good because everything that glitters ain't gold. So you're plugged into this company, and every day you're showing up, you're showing out, and you have a good heart. You want to do good in the world. So you're doing good, but they're not doing good. So now the karmic, you're not getting back the same energy you're putting out. But when you go in your individual venture, you say, this is what I have in me. I don't need you to deal my gift. Look, jobs are just gift dealers. They say, what gift do you have? Let me take it and produce something. You are producing what the job, like, let's say there's 5 people in the job. They're gift dealers. 5 people in the job, and in order for this restaurant to work, I don't know why everybody left. If 5 people in the job, in order for this business to work, I need to have your gifts in order for this product to go. Now, if I'm here, but I don't believe in the mission, and you're taking my gifts, why am I even there? You really want to think about this. So what if then you go towards a company when you're working, when you believe in the mission? Now it's not even a job. Now you find an ecosystem that fuels your gift. So not everybody actually needs to take their gift and monetize it as a solo entrepreneur. There's something called intrapreneurship. That means that within an institution or organization that align with your mission, you can actually make a difference and an impact and still operate in your gift. You just have to know the difference. If you say, I show up to this job to get a paycheck and I'm just going to do what they need me to do regardless of what they're really doing, then you're not saying, oh, I'm living life by my values. You're just saying, I just need to make my money and go. And that's one way to look at it. But if you want to evolve, it's going to have to be more than that. So some people say, you know what, I'm going to find a company that I can work within that their mission is aligned to do something that helps the world get better. And guess what? I'm going to provide my gift towards this. I'm going to grow with these companies, with this family, and I'm going to be able to do something really big in the world. So that's another way. The avenue to put your gift out, to be a light worker, to be good in the world, is not necessarily you have to go and start your own business or your own venture. That's a route. But another one is to join a team. Another one to join a team with meaning behind it. You get what I'm saying? So you don't want to just join a team without meaning behind it. You want to join a team with meaning. Right? And a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. And the truth of the situation is, some of you working for companies who's legit hurting people, but you still working for them because you want the money. But you got to start to say, hey, I'm not going to even take a job unless it matches my values, unless it's doing something good in the world. I mean, that's a different ownership of who you really are. Some people say, I don't really care. I just want my check. But then again, to some extent, even though a company may not be effectively helping the world in a way that they should, they still add value. So you're going to have to determine that. So what do I mean? There's a restaurant across the street. They sell food that literally is hurting people really bad, affecting the hurt negatively. Even though you can say that this restaurant is not necessarily helping raise the vibration of the planet, they're still providing food. They're still providing jobs. So they're actually doing something, but they could be doing it more effectively if they align their mission, if they align the way they operated with the divine laws. But most companies are not doing that, so you need to find yourself a conscious company to work for, or become the conscious company. If you can't find a conscious company to work for that aligns with your values, the universal laws, then you become the conscious company. So this is when you become your own brand. This is when you put out the gift within you. You say, hey, I'm going to find my own platform to put out the gift that's within me. And you go from there. But there is a collective calling on the earth for people to bring out their gifts, and the time is now. So everybody listening all around the world, I want to tell you this. What gifts have been lying dormant within you that you've been hiding from the world because you fear something? You fear judging. You fear the change. You fear putting yourself out there. What is it? I want you to remember, it is a collective calling to raise the vibration of the earth. This mission, this idea that's in your mind, the thing that's been sitting in your spirit is a collective calling. Whether you're an artist, whether you're a dancer, a singer, whatever it is that you do, whatever that you did as a job, you can actually somehow take that and monetize it in the marketplace purposefully. So it is up to you what you're going to do after today. It is up to you what you're going to choose and how you're going to move forward. Whether you're going to remain in oblivion of just going to work every day, or whether you're going to wake up and say, hey, I'm going to take ownership of my gift.
I want to remind you that you have unlimited power within you to achieve whatever it is that you want and to construct the person you want to be. But first, you must believe it in order to achieve it. And until that happens, the world will forever miss your talents, your gifts, and all the great things that you have to offer. So let your light shine, don't hide it, don't dim it. Thank you. Find Ed Talks Daily on your favorite podcast app and be sure to leave your thoughts in the form of review. Until next time, remain in your unlimited power.